name is Jonathan Sharps. I'm one of the counselors with Belmont Counseling Services. Today I want to talk about finding creative ways to connect with those immediately around us, those kind of that are usually in our everyday space, but now they're not around. We don't have the opportunity to see them, and maybe even those that we haven't reached out to in a long time because we've been so busy in our everyday life. And now everything's kind of come to a halt. Everything's kind of stopped. And we're having to stay in our space for a while and maybe an uncomfortable amount of time. And we can kind of go into the state of mind where we can feel isolated or like we're in survival mode, and we forget to slow down and connect with people. But this is a great opportunity to connect in new ways in this time that we kind of, for maybe 2 weeks or longer, just have to remain in a space. And so some of the creative ways just start with the people that you are around in your space every day, whether you are with family for the next 2 weeks locked up in the house, or maybe it's friends that you're living with. I think a good place to start is just finding new ways to interact with each other in that space. I mean, right now, maybe a lot of it is binge watching something on Netflix. Maybe even you're kind of starting to feel like you're in other people's way, or they're in your way, or isolating a lot to your own room instead of spending time in those common spaces. Maybe a lot of the time has been really sharing the anxieties of what's going on right now and kind of the little traumatic moments of everything that we've heard about on the news. And so finding new ways to connect with the people that are in our space is really important right now. And some of that might be instead of binge watching a show together, turning that TV off and playing games together with your family or with your friends. Maybe it's actually creating a dinner together with the people you're in a space with, and then sitting down and eating together and actually looking at each other and talking maybe more about just the other things going on in each other's lives. I know right now the big thing is this COVID-19, but there's other stuff still going on in everyone's lives. Some people are doing schoolwork remotely. Some people are working remotely. I'm sure we're getting calls from friends and family that aren't in our space with us. And so just having the opportunity to process those other things with the people that are in our immediate space can be a really good thing, can relax us, can normalize our life a little bit. Then the next step is, in this time when we are just stuck in our space, we kind of forget how a lot of our interactions happen in everyday life. It's not usually the planned events or the planned going out for dinner. It's usually just kind of walking past someone else on campus that we're friends with and stopping and talking to them for a moment. It's going to a coffee shop and seeing someone you didn't plan to see and sitting down for a little bit and talking. A lot of our interactions just kind of happen because we're moving around our city or our town. And so maybe another step to take is ask yourself, who are the people during this time where I've kind of sheltered in that I haven't had a chance to talk to in a while? And would it be nice just to have like a quick 5-minute conversation, or even just reach out to them via text or FaceTime or TikTok or Snapchat or whatever it would be, just for a light conversation, just for checking in real quick. It doesn't have to be a big conversation. It doesn't have to be going into all the deep emotions that we're experiencing right now. It can just be like, hey, how are you? I've been thinking about you. I think we forget a lot of our interactions are these small ones, and those really matter. So that's another big important thing to look into. Who are people who I haven't reached out to yet, but that I kind of miss and I'm used to seeing around? Maybe the third one on this list would be the people who we really are used to sitting down and having good, deep conversations with that are not in our space. Can everyone plan a time together on an app like Zoom or, again, FaceTime? Any kind of video conferencing that would allow you to maybe gather during dinner. Everyone makes their own meal in their own home, but everyone's going to get on a video conference and they're going to talk to each other while they're eating, kind of catch up on things. I've even heard of people watching a movie together. I'm sure it's hard to start those movies up at the same time at everyone's different house, but some people have found a way to do that. I saw some people over FaceTime. They had nieces and nephews, and they made a little puppet with their hand, and they, ducked down and talked to the nieces and nephews over FaceTime with their hand, and those kids thought it was amazing. And sometimes it feels really good to give things like that. not just to receive care, but to give care to those that we can't be physically in connection with, but that maybe over something like this, like video conferencing, we can connect and kind of be fun and light with people. And so that's important too. Yes, keep reaching out to the most important people, and don't just text them all day. Don't just send messages all day that are about hard stuff. Also spend time just maybe even reflecting on the good times that you've had together, and creating a lot of space for that. Maybe sitting down for 1 or 2 hours and doing that. So those are 3 of the main points, but there's also you. There's just connecting with yourself. And again, in this time where things are really scary, sometimes we can kind of feel disembodied. We can feel out of ourselves. We can feel chaotic. So connecting with yourself is really important now too. And sometimes that can be about putting in your earphones and going to an app like Calm or Headspace or some of the many others out there that are offered. If you just put into your app search mindfulness meditation apps, then tons of them will come up, and a lot of them are really good. And so I think it's of great benefit to not just connect with others, but to connect with ourselves, and doing that through art, doing that through listening to mindfulness, connecting to our body through doing yoga, and just maybe looking out the window or taking a short walk out in nature. Those are good ways to connect to the world, connect to ourselves, connect to the people that matter. Like I said at the beginning of this, a lot of this is intuitive. This is nothing new, but sometimes it's just a good reminder when we feel stuck. Sometimes we forget everything that is available to us and all the different ways we can reach out and connect with others. So I hope this video was helpful, simple enough to be able to do, but not so simple to where it seemed like a waste of your time. I hope it wasn't. I look forward to continuing to do some of these videos with some of my other teammates, and we'll see you around.